Hello all. I hope you're doing well. This particular weather event has turned out to be quite a devastating uh, storm for a majority of areas, particularly away from the beach. And Myrtle Beach itself looks like it's doing well, and I certainly hope that all of you are in areas where you're safe and you're not facing some sort of impending crisis with the rising waters. I'm in Conway right now, which is like an island because you can't get in or out of it. And campus, of course, is closed for many of the same reasons. As the rivers continue to rise, um, people are in greater jeopardy of losing their homes, um, illness, just an array of crisis situations. And so, really, we won't be past the real sort of dramatic impacts of this storm event until next week, middle of next week, when things ideally and hopefully will start to kind of calm a bit. Again, I hope you're well. I'm thinking all of you, and I hope that you haven't suffered too greatly in all of this. As I said in my earlier email, we had a scare here that we weathered, and but other than that, we've just been kind of running around trying to help neighbors and take care of some other things. So it's been an exhausting week, but we're in pretty good straits now for the most part. I think there's going to be two videos. The first is me just kind of going over things briefly here, and then I have a short presentation on the material for this last week. A few things that I want to say. First, I do think that provided that we all have access now getting back to work, and this is a real advantage of having the materials online in Canvas, is that we can continue it in some capacity. So getting back to work and engaging in contemplative thought and thinking about sort of larger questions in some ways can be very therapeutic and sort of redirect some of our energies, I hope. I know I'm sure everyone's quite stressed out. I know I am. So let me tell you what I have in mind for this week. A few things. As you may have already noticed, the discussion post for last week's material does have a due date now. It's the end of next week. And I do have a question posed, and I'm hoping that the material that I present in this second video today will help you with that. But I'm also asking that in preparation for that, for each of you to send me, before you try to do the full post, to send me at some point before Friday when it's due, a paragraph of what you're thinking about for your main argument approach, and I will give you direct feedback on this. So this will be directly interactive in terms of feedback right up until the time that you post. And of course, I'm available to look at sample posts up to that point. In fact, I hope all of you will take advantage of maybe sending me a paragraph midweek so that I can give you some feedback on it as you start to work through your posting. You all have feedback from me now, so you know kind of the things that we're trying to sort of achieve together here, and I'm happy to sort of explain some of that a little bit more if you need, or again to sort of transfer that to feedback for the upcoming post. So we are going to go ahead with that, and you do have a due date now on Canvas. We are going at the same time forward with the digital labor and marks unit. However, for that work next week, instead of having a discussion post, because we're kind of backed up now on work, I'm going to do an interactive quiz, and that will be due next Monday, okay? And the interactive quiz is just going to ask you to kind of think through the readings. So it's a way of me making sure that you've had a chance to really do the readings and to make some linkages between this week's or last week's material as well, okay? So those are two things. The third thing is that I'd like us all to get online together and have a kind of conversation. And Canvas actually makes that possible, and I'm going to send some detailed instructions on Monday about how to do that. And that would mean that on this next week, on next Thursday, and I'm sending this all to you in the presentation as well, and I'll send you an email reminder so that you have it, so you don't have to remember everything I'm saying here. But next Thursday, we will try to meet together online through Canvas, and I will send at the beginning of the week on Monday detailed instructions on how to do that. It's not that complicated, and ideally we'll have a chance to have a kind of virtual face-to-face conversation. I think it's important that we try to see each other at some point before we actually get back to class to kind of keep some of that momentum. Okay? All right. If you have any issues or questions about any of that, I'm here. I'm available, obviously. And again, I will send follow-ups so that you're perfectly clear on what's required. In the presentation, the video presentation that's about to follow this, where I talk about the material a bit, at the end I go over again the 3 assignments that we're anticipating for next week. Okay? All right. Stay dry, stay hopeful, stay woke. Um, and I hope to see you coming up on Thursday. And again, I will send you directions on that. If you have any issues at all, please be in touch with me by email, okay? All right, the next video with my thoughts and some material on the race and affect section is the next video linked in here to this email. Okay,